Umar ibn Abd Aziz rahimahullah ta'ala says the following: أكثر من ذكر الموت فإن كنت واسع العيش ضيقه عليك وإن كنت ضيق العيش وسعه عليك. Rahimahullah ta'ala. Umar ibn Abd Aziz says, frequently remember death. And we know the Prophet ﷺ says the same thing. أكثروا من هذم اللذات. Constantly remember the destroyer of pleasures. So our tradition is filled with a similar statement, but Umar ibn Abd Aziz gives us some perspective in terms of what the goal, or what are some of the goals in regards to this meaning. Constantly remember death. Now, in the world that we live in today, it's all about the world and all about living your life and all about wanting to live longer. So when you hear something like this, it seems quite depressing. No, I don't want to think about death. But you know what? You don't have to be a Muslim to appreciate this meaning. In fact, a non-Muslim author says there's something about the embracing of death, something about thinking about death that causes the human being to live like a human being. See, we human beings, we are emotional creatures. I don't mean we're irrational, but what I mean is that emotions play a huge role in our ability to experience life. And the fact of the matter is, death and the remembrance of death allows us to truly feel our emotions. And so this author says, embrace the idea of death because it brings you back to your mortality. And mortality is an essential part of the human experience, the fact that we will die. And Umar ibn Abd Aziz says, frequently remember death. Why? Because if you have a lot in this world, it reduces it in your mind. In other words, those who are prosperous in their material possessions, their materialism, when paired with the reality of death, the reality of the fact that you are immortal, will balance that out for the individual, where they're no longer so distracted by their worldly possessions and their pursuit of worldly possession, and they're enjoying of worldly possessions. Rather, mortality, the reality of a person's mortality will root them in the ground, bring them back down to earth, so that their worldly possessions don't cause them to get out of balance and out of touch with other realities. And Umar then continues and says, but if you have little in this life, remembering death will increase your joy, increase your happiness, make it seem like you have more than you actually have. Why? Because the more you think about death, the more you appreciate what the afterlife has to offer you. Paradise and all the blessings and infinite blessings and all the luxury and the comfort, etc. So you see the little that you have as it's a small inconvenience rather than a huge problem that I cannot seem to navigate or circumvent. So constantly remembering death is a major part of Iman, dear brothers and sisters. And it's a simple practice. Remember, you will die sooner or later. Nobody is guaranteed life. And it's not meant to be depressing. Rather, it's meant to gift life to you. As Abu Bakr radiallahu ta'ala an says, احرص على الموت توهب لك الحياة. Pursue what comes after death. Live life according to the fact that you will die, and this life will be gifted to you. And even the Prophet ﷺ makes this more beautiful. He says, whoever's primary concern is the afterlife, Allah will make this life easy for them. He Himself, subhanahu wa ta'ala, will organize and take care and manage a person's life, and this world will come to them, whether it likes it or not. So when we keep death at the forefront, it does these things to us, where it makes us able to experience life as human beings. And it also does the following as well. It helps us prioritize. Imagine, I know this is a tough thought, but imagine this. Imagine your father or your mother or your sibling or your best friend or your spouse or your child will die tomorrow. How will that change your interaction with this person? How will it change what you do today? You're going to make it a top priority to spend as much time with that individual because you appreciate the limit of time. See how it affects your prioritization? When you put death at the forefront and what comes after death at the forefront, how will it change the way you interact with the world today? It will help you prioritize in a meaningful, effective, purposeful way. Watching Netflix will no longer be a priority in your life. It's meaningless. But rather praying your salah and doing good deeds and bringing happiness to other people will become your priority. It also helps you reassess your values. What do you truly value? And as I gave you that example, if a loved one will die tomorrow, what will you value in those final moments with that individual? You see how profound of an impact it has on you? So when we think of death, it might feel difficult to digest, to internalize. But the fact of the matter is, a human being's ability to realize and actualize and embrace the reality of their mortality, the more they can live as a human being, the more they can strive and accomplish, and the more satisfaction they will feel while they live life. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you for watching this video. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward you. If you found benefit in this video, then please like it, share with other people, and remind you of the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, whoever guides somebody to good, then they get the reward of those who do that good. Bi-idhnillahi ta'ala. See you in the next video. Assalamu alaikum.